What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. If you are looking to add inches to your vertical, you have come to the right place. This workout is basically the entire workout that I did, every single set, every single rep. So if you guys want to try it out for yourself and see how you like it, be my guest. Yeah, literally, if you just follow this workout, it'll give you something to be able to do to increase your vertical. First, of course, we start with a warm-up. Not shown on here was my isometrics and my dynamic flexibility and sprint development drills that I do. I've included that in previous videos, so make sure you watch the other videos in my channel if you want to look at kind of more of an extensive warm-up. But before, on like super intense lift days where I'm not really necessarily doing a plyometric, I like to do a barbell warm-up. If I'm going to be doing something like the med ball jumps that I did in my last workout, or sprinting, or any kind of plyometric, I like to do kind of a high intensity warm-up that is kind of like low level plyos. But if I'm just going to be lifting heavy, doing something like that, like a strength movement, I like to do a barbell warm-up. The barbell warm-up is pretty easy to do. I literally just go like 5 reps of front squat, 5 reps of back squat, hang cleans, hang power snatch, something to kind of get my body moving, blood flowing, get a small sweat going. I basically judge if I'm properly warmed up if I break a very light sweat. Of course, it varies where you live. Like if I'm in Florida, I'll start sweating just by walking outside. But out here in the desert, it's really hard to get a sweat going. But that's kind of like my baseline for when I know I'm properly warmed up. And then from there, I had to do some hang cleans. I haven't done hang cleans in months. It's kind of like we like to add them later in our progression for the Olympic lifts. This is actually a really good exercise for 1-foot jumpers. If you look at the joint angles, I'm not really going into like a deep knee bend when I'm doing hang cleans. And it's a more explosive movement, right? The time to generate force is a lot shorter than it would be for something like a power clean. A power clean, you're starting really low on the ground. You're kind of in a deeper knee bend, and then you're pushing off into the ground. This, it's like you're at like a quarter squat position, and then you're just going into triple extension. If you go heavy, you do go into a deeper knee bend on the catch, but that's only if you go really heavy. My hang cleans felt really good. I believe I worked up to 210 if I remember correctly. Let's see, we got 185 on the bar plus 10. I think that's 215 that I worked up to. Also, when I do that little catch, I feel so cool. I like to like bounce the bar up and then catch it. I don't do that to look cool. I actually do that to spare my quads. Like if you can see in between every rep, I use my quads to absorb the bar. And if you're not used to that, that hurts like crazy. So on the last rep when I'm tired, I just drop the bar into the ground and catch it. It spares your quads and also spares your back because you can kind of catch it in a higher position. But yeah, hang cleans are really, really good, especially if you are a 1-foot jumper. Now, the next exercise, this is something really unique. And again, this is a more advanced cycle. When you're doing THP, you probably won't see a cycle like this until probably like a year into your training, or like 6 months to a year into your training if you don't have a big background in training. But what we're doing here is 1 leg down, 2 legs up, and I'm focusing on making the eccentric as slow as I can. This is literally just focusing on overloading the eccentric portion of an exercise. When you jump, there is a huge eccentric load on your body. And of course, your body is stronger eccentrically than it is concentrically. So you're doing a correct weight for this workout if it's a messing up my words. If it's a weight that you can't lift up with 1 leg. So right now I'm just warming up. I'm doing doubles for each leg, but eventually I built up to, I believe, like 225. I would not be able to do a single leg squat with 225. So that's how you know you're at a right weight. And then you literally just try to descend as slow as you can. Once you get really heavy, it's hard to go slow. Like you're not necessarily going to be going at a slow tempo, but the goal is to be attempting to go slow. It's the intent to go slow. that's something that's important when you're doing any heavy lifting exercise. Like anytime you get to heavy weights, like 80% plus of your max, it's going to be moving pretty slow, right? If you were to look at a force velocity curve, loading up like a 90% squat is going to be on the force end of the continuum. If you're on the force end of the continuum, it's impossible to move it quickly. But what's really, really important, guys, is intent. Intent is one of the most important things when it comes to jump training. Why is intent so important? Because that recruits more of your type 2 muscle fibers. And that is what we want to target when we're jumping high, right? We don't want none of those slow twitch fibers. Get them things out of here. We want those type 2 fast twitch muscle fibers. And through research, it has been shown that the best way to target those muscle fibers is through intent. So even if you're moving a weight slowly, as long as, and we got to define what intent is. Intent is basically trying as hard as you can, trying to move something as fast as you can. Back to what I was saying, if you have a 90% squat, it's going to be moving slow no matter how hard you try to move the weight up, because it's 90% of your max. But as long as you're moving that up with max intent, that's all that matters. And it's kind of like backwards here because we're focusing on the eccentric, and we're trying to it's like the reverse of intent, right? Because it's gonna be, you're gonna try to move it slow, but the weight is gonna be so heavy that you're not gonna be able to necessarily move it slow. And we're doing that because we want to just really load up the muscle fibers. If you just crash down onto the box, there's gonna be zero load on those or almost zero load on those muscles, and you're probably gonna get hurt. So yeah, just try to move it slow. I would say control the descent is a better way to describe it. From there, we went to seated calf raise. I think I did doubles here, and I was just trying to, let's count 1, 2, 3. I think I did 3 or 4. I didn't see the first rep. But we're trying to move this as fast as we can. We're not going to be trying to do a ton of weight. I think you want to be staying at around like 70% of your max, and then just focusing on speed. So, and then you can see here, I'm not using my hands. On seated calf raise machines, you can put your hands on that little bar thing in front of you. I try not to use it because you can kind of cheat the movement and use your arms. And then the last exercise that we did is single leg RDL. And again, this is 1 leg down, 2 legs up. Be very careful with this exercise. So I had a small back flare up last week, and I thought it was because of deep squatting, but I don't think it was, because the deep squatting wasn't hurting my back. I think it was because of like rotating my spine, like I was twisting to one side. So when you do this, make sure to use good technique. Don't shift from one side to the other. But that is it for the video, guys. If you guys are interested in getting personally trained by me to jump higher, I am looking for 5 athletes that want to add inches to the vertical in the next 6 months. Fun fact, the average athlete at THP gains 5 inches of vertical in 6 months. We did a poll of all the athletes that we've trained, which is a crazy statistic, and 1 in 5 athletes gain 7 inches or more. Just absolutely insane. But I am looking to add more guys to my full service coaching. If you are interested in that, click the link in my bio. You'll get on a call that's informational, and you'll get to learn more about what we provide and if you are a good fit. So make sure to check that out, guys. Make sure to like the video, comment. I'm going to answer every single comment on the video, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.